Hi, I'm George Cox for BCTV. I'm coming to you today from the Bedford High School gym where we broadcast many of the varsity games. Later on in the show, we caught up with Corey Parker, the athletic director, to tell us all about the challenges he faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Coming up on this show, information about Jessica's Law with the Bedford Chief of Police, a new show with Sue Mullen and Diane Veccarello, and right after the break, farewell to a Bedford friend. The Bedford Fire Department had a gathering to say farewell to the retiring Captain Thatcher Plante. Chief Hunter explains the impact that Thatcher has made on the Bedford Fire Department.
Thatcher arrived here about 6 years ago in November of 2014 as our fire inspector, and I remember going to have a little pre-interview with you over at, where were we? At a bakery right here in town, right? And it really impressed me from the start, right? So, and was hired on here as our inspector with very little knowledge of code enforcement and public ed. And we, but very, very fast learner. I remember when I first introduced him to the camera, right, and told him we have this thing in town called BCTV, and we do these things called PSAs, and Thatcher was like, "You want me to do what?" It was a long hesitation. Anyway, he warmed right up to it, and of course, with a little coaching from Bill Jennings, and you know, a little confidence. You're a natural, kid. You're a natural.
So when I first got here, I kind of had some idea about fire and EMS. I was brand new to prevention, but was intrigued by it, and thank you for taking me under your wing and teaching me everything you knew. And one of the first things was to talk to kindergarten kids, which was way scarier than the first building fire I ever went to. I was like, no, like they are gonna ask me questions like, what if, my dog doesn't come out? And you're like, well, it dies. Like, like that was way scarier. And you obviously, you figure out a more politically correct answer, and that was like the hardest, scariest part of the job. I finally get that figured out. I'm like, all right, building fires, check. Plan review, check. Talking to kindergarten kids, check. And they stick a camera in front of my face. And and you get to, luckily all of my my PSAs and everything are cataloged for me to look back and just go, oh God, like what was I thinking, and get a little bit better with time. Because I will tell everybody hates the sound of your own voice and you hate the way you look on camera. I am no different. You just have to let loose and just understand that. And then at a certain point, mom and dad, it wasn't so much the age, it was you two fight like a married couple. And I just had to like recruit a brother to vent to, because we just eventually just had to be like, all right, mom and dad, that's great. But yeah, eventually I really loved doing that side of it, and you just kind of develop new skills that you never knew you had. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
So as we've already heard, today is a very bittersweet day for us here at the town of Bedford and BCTV and WBNH, because we're losing Captain Thatcher Plante. Captain, it's been so great having you work with us over the years.
Thank you, you as well, you and everybody at BCTV and WBNH.
Absolutely. And so you kind of talked about this a little bit before, but talk about it a little bit more about your experience with media and how you kind of got thrown into it. It wasn't quite your thing, but now if anybody watches BCTV or listens to WBNH, They're sure to know your name. You've come a long way, but tell us a little bit about that experience.
Sure. So like you said, I had no experience in it at all. It was terrifying, and I just kind of got a little bit more comfortable with it as it went along. And then I kind of wanted to make it my own, and wanted to help you guys out with the editing and learn a little bit about that. And so you guys taught me how to edit, and I got to do some of my own programming, and it became a hobby of mine. I got my own account for Adobe Creative Cloud, and started doing my own videos and editing, and have a podcast that we, myself and Inspector Lavoie, do, and actually started doing a little bit of animation too. So I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoy being behind the camera more than in front of the camera, but you can usually find more volunteers to hold the camera than you can to stand in front of it. So.
That's right. And you mentioned Tim Lavoie. Well, he's going to have to try to fill your footsteps, but that's going to be kind of hard, I think. But I'm sure he's going to do a great job too. So we're going to recruit him. And sad to see you go. I just want to say thank you from all of us at the stations for everything that you've done, contributing to us, working with us. Me personally, you've helped me learn with flying the drone. And your pilot experience has come in handy with all of that. So I just want to give you a big thank you from all of us. We're going to miss you.
Well, thank you to all of you, and I'm going to miss you guys as well. And thanks for making me look so good, I guess. I said, it's a team effort, and I was just a part of that. And Tim, who just snuck over here, he'll put his own spin on it and make his own claim to fame. So thank you guys. It was a pleasure, and I learned a lot. And best of luck to you.
Best of luck to you. We're going to be following you in your adventures and looking forward to seeing where you fly off. So thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
So now let's take a look at some of the videos that Thatcher produced over the years and see all of those great highlights.
Hi, I'm Fire Inspector Thatcher Plante of the Bedford Fire Department. Using a portable fire extinguisher is not difficult, but please don't wait until there's actually a fire before you try to learn how to use one. So most homeowners like yourself pass by the smoke alarm, fire extinguisher section every day and don't really pay too much attention to it. But then when you actually are in the market to purchase something, you can see this is quite a selection. We range all the way from a $5.99 smoke alarm to a $49.99. And so welcome to another episode of the Firehouse Health and Wellness Show. We're doing a cooking segment today. I have with me Deputy Chief Scott Hunter of the Bedford Fire Department. And what are we making today, Deputy?
Today I thought we'd make something healthy for our firefighters. Turkey Florentine meatballs.
Hey. Hands free.
Trick or treat! Get back! 6 feet! Get back! Get back! 6 feet! Trick or treat! Get out of here! Get back! 6 feet! Get out of here!
Welcome to the Firehouse Health and Wellness Program. This is a show that will highlight the many aspects of life as a firefighter.
Thatcher, we all want to thank you so much for everything you've done for BCTV. And actually, he was one of the guys that interviewed me for this position, so thank you very much. Coming up next, clean your car off. Find out about Jessica's Law with the Bedford Chief of Police.
Speaking of cars, Jessica's Law. We haven't had too harsh of a winter, fortunately, but this is one thing that always gets me, is you see some people in the car and they'll take a little section of their windshield that they clear off, and then they leave a foot of snow on their car, and driving behind other vehicles, when that comes off and hits you, that's scary and it could cause some major damage. So Jessica's Law was put in place to save people because it can be very dangerous and it can kill people. And so we just want to remind people to remove the snow completely from your car. Did you want to touch on that a little bit more?
It's incredibly important for folks to take the time to remove the snow from the vehicle, right? particularly here in New England, where oftentimes we'll get a snowfall, and if folks don't remove the snow from the vehicle and then there's a weather change and this light fluffy snow then turns into a brick of ice at 60 or 70 miles an hour on a road, or even 40 or 50 miles an hour, if it flies off, the combined impact speed, we have the brick of ice flying off the car at a speed, and we have the approaching vehicle speed, which is combined, could be a combined 100 mile an hour impact. That's enough to penetrate the windshield of most vehicles. In fact, there was a near tragic case in Londonderry just a few weeks ago involving a young man whose windshield was penetrated by some ice that came off a truck. And thankfully, there was a witness that got the license plate number of the truck, and so the truck driver was ultimately identified. But no matter how big your vehicle is, and again, with so many people now owning SUVs, some people will say, well, I can't reach the roof. Well,
they make actually extendable cleaner, like roof rack
brushes,
cleaners,
yeah. So there's ways to do it, but one of the things that you don't want to risk is, one, you don't want to risk injuring someone else because you didn't clean your car off. You don't want to risk a collision because you couldn't see outside your car sufficiently well enough to see oncoming traffic or pedestrian. And you don't want to risk a $300 ticket.
If the first two aren't enough, hopefully the ticket would at least get you there.
Yeah, we hope that officers use their discretion at times, but we also instruct our officers that when there's a clear violation of Jessica's law, because again, it's a safety factor. There are certain laws where discretion can be used more widely. When it doesn't involve, the implication is not one that's likely to result in an injury. But in cases in which the risk of injury to others is high, we reduce our discretion. And so we've handed out a fairly good number of tickets for Jessica's law violations. And the next snowstorm, they'll be out there again watching to make sure that trucks, cars, SUVs, and again, even if it's a tractor trailer, they have devices that the tractor trailer drives under that scrapes the snow off the top of the trailer. So if you're going to operate a TT unit in New England, then you have to invest in the tools to be able to do it safely.
Absolutely, and we're doing that. They're giving the tickets to save lives, possibly save your life, possibly save somebody else's.
Well, the local Bedford elections are coming up on March 9th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and you can vote right here at Bedford High School. Here is some information about the sprinkler bond with the Chief of the Fire Department and Superintendent Mike Fournier.
Hi, I'm Mike Fournier, Superintendent of Schools for the Bedford School District.
And I'm Chief Scott Hunter of the Bedford Fire Department.
We would like to take a moment to provide you some background information to the voters on the sprinkler bond. Peter Woodbury Memorial and McKelvey schools currently do not have sprinkler systems. The installation of sprinkler systems was identified over a decade ago as the most cost-effective solution to gain state fire code compliance.
Sprinkler systems enhance life safety and preserve property. Fire departments across the country respond to over 3,000 school fires annually. Even small fires without injury cause thousands of dollars in damage and can significantly disrupt the educational process.
The cost to replace Peter Woodbury Memorial and McKelvey combined is over $30 million. But to properly protect these investments with compliant fire alarm and sprinkler systems is $1.4 million. We'd like to bond this over 10 years, and we'd like the voters to consider that borrowing this money over a 10-year period at this time is cost effective.
In addition to eliminating the threat of fire, installation of these systems allows improvements for school security.
We urge you to vote on this and many other school and municipal articles on March 9th.
We look forward to seeing you at the polls.
Well, you want to find out what's going on in the great town of Bedford? Here is Colleen Richardson with the Community Calendar.
Hi everyone, this is Colleen Richardson with your Community Calendar. This month we have a couple important dates that we'd like you to keep in mind. First off, Tuesday, March 9th is the town and school election. This will be held at the Bedford High School Gymnasium from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you'd like to apply for an absentee ballot ahead of time, visit the town clerk's page at the website bedfordnh.org. This is where you're going to vote for all of the town and school positions, such as town councilors, school board members, and also the school's budget. The following day is the budgetary town meeting held on Wednesday, March 10th. This will be held in the Bedford High School Theater at 7 p.m. All Bedford voters are encouraged to attend. This is where you'll be voting on the town's budget. Next, are you looking for a job? The town does have some employment opportunities. To find those, go to the website bedfordnh.org. At the top of the menu, you'll see How Do I? Click on that. You'll be brought to a spot that says Apply For, and then click on Employment Opportunities. All of the current positions will pop up at that point, and then you can see if there's any that you're interested in and how to apply. Be sure to get those resumes and applications in. Lastly, always remember to check out the recreations page and the libraries page, because they have lots of fun events and activities to offer for everyone. So you want to make sure you check those out frequently. Until next time, this is Colleen Richardson. Think spring.
So I had a chance to talk to Corey Parker at halftime during the last game, and he talks to us about some of the challenges he faced with covering the games during the COVID-19 pandemic. Corey, tell us about some of the challenges that you faced this year with the pandemic and with BCTV helping you cover the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Fitting to do this at a game, as I feel like you guys have been a second family both ways, you and me and you, as you guys have been fabulous covering a lot of our events. You know, certainly with the unfortunate March and spring sports season shutting down, you know, we made a conscious effort to provide everything we could this fall for our kids in a safe manner, and you have been a huge part of that process. Teaming up, we've streamed every single home event live for our community, reaching all the way to 13 or 14 different countries of people watching it on Facebook or YouTube, or certainly local on BCTV 23 and 1072. But yeah, it's been a monumental effort with all our athletic directors, certainly our coaches, and our student athletes, bar none, have been unbelievable with every challenge we've given them. And at our fall banquets, which were socially distanced individual teams in the theater, I praised them for that. In 15 years of being an athletic director, I've never experienced anything like this. And it's been the most impressive part of being an AD. I've been fortunate to see a lot of state championship teams, and how our students, and really all student athletes, have just persevered through this, dealt with it, embraced it, made the best of their scenario, is really something to be commended, a lot of them. And it's a tough time for everybody, and some of our student athletes are really kind of teaching the teachers and the coaches the best attitude to have through this, no question.
And we have the remainder of the seasons. I know the playoffs are coming up, and remember, you can watch all the games at bedfordtv.com, also on our Facebook, and also on Bedford 105.1. Tell us, what is the playoff picture looking like right now?
Yeah, so it's going to get busy starting Monday. I'm not sure when this will go air. Obviously, it's live right now, which I'm sure people appreciate it, but Monday the 1st is when this all kicks off, with boys basketball on Monday, girls basketball on Thursday, girls hockey on Tuesday, boys hockey on Wednesday, and then hopefully into the following week, which means we're winning those games. And so the more you see, hopefully hear someone else, as I know I'm not the soup du jour for many in town, but nonetheless, hopefully the more games that we're covering, that means our teams are advancing through the tournaments, and some tournaments have finished. Alpine ski fortunately finished a week ago. Our boys and girls team will be hanging another banner. Both of them took home that state championship. Gymnastics had a great state meet, finished 4th overall, and swim and dive most recently just captured 1st place on the boys and the girls side last weekend. So I'd be kidding if I didn't tell you there's a certain level of relief driving home from those state meets, knowing we've finished another season. And hopefully basketball and hockey has 2 more weeks, and we can celebrate that driving home from those state championship games.
Excellent. Well, remember, you can watch all the games at bedfordtv.com. Make sure you check out our Facebook, our Go Bulldogs on Facebook, and the Corey Parker Athletic Director page. And we just want to thank everybody for your support, and thank you so much, Corey. We're so glad to help you. And I know we're going to show a highlight on Bedford Community Corner of Isabella King with her 1,000 points, so stay tuned for that.
Lumpini back up to Grogan. Now King at the top of the key. She'll pull from 3. Got it.
Got it.
19 points for Isabella King. And we weren't going to jinx her before that started tonight, but that last three-pointer puts Isabella King over 1,000 points for her career. Great moment for her.
And actually, we were expecting a little acknowledgement of that.
And here it comes. Here it comes as the referee stops play, gives the ball to Isabella King, and there's a nice acknowledgement.
I think the parents knew, though.
Her parents knew. Gives a hug to her dad, her mom, Ron, Michelle, older sister Sophia. Now her teammates congratulate her. That's a special moment in Isabella King's high school career here. Congratulations to you, Isabella.
Hi, I'm Sue Mullen, retired school counselor.
And I'm Diane Vaccarello, licensed family therapist.
And we're excited to announce today a new show for BCTV that we're doing called Heads Up.
Sue and I will be focusing our conversations on mental wellness.
Some topics that we might cover could include enhancing communication or improving relationships.
More specific topics like how to increase resiliency during COVID times.
We hope that you'll tune in and watch us as we give you a heads up.
A show that helps us to keep growing and stay healthy as individuals within our relationships and our community. So tune in to BCTV for Heads Up.
As part of our ongoing series of Bedford High School, here is Director of STEM, Martha Pond, to give you some information about the great program.
Hello, my name is Martha Pond, and I am the Dean of Math, Science, and Technology here at Bedford High School. At BHS, the STEM department includes science, math, engineering, computer science, business, and family and consumer science, which we call FACS. In each of these departments, whether they are core courses required for graduation or electives, there are multiple pathways for students to pursue their interests. A student can take a mixture of IB, AP, honors, and college prep classes, depending on their current interests and future plans. For example, a student may be passionate about chemistry. They can take 1 or 2 years of chemistry at the IB level and other sciences at the college prep or IB level, as well as various electives that might interest them. In math, a student can challenge themselves with honors and IB levels and/or explore interests through electives. There are also math and science classes with built-in supports of extra time to allow students to master content. In the elective departments of engineering, computer science, business, and FACS, there are multiple options, including IB and AP. A student can explore computer science through Intro to Programming, and then further pursue that interest with AP classes. A student can try out computer-aided design, or CAD, and then discover a love for engineering and take multiple courses in that area. A student can take Intro to Cooking because they want to learn a life skill, and then discover a passion and pursue that passion through advanced cooking classes. A student may take Intro to Business and then discover a deep interest and continue on with marketing and IB business management. Students will find that whatever their interest and whatever their future plans, we have a pathway for them. In all of the STEM courses, we facilitate the students' immersion in the content. In science courses, students learn content through lab experiences, eventually designing and conducting their own labs. In math, The problem-solving centered curriculum allows students to see the math around them and apply it to their world. Students run a small business expo in marketing, learn to code in computer science, design and build their own creations in engineering, and learn to design and create clothing, interiors, and food in FACS. The learning is authentic and relevant. We are proud that all BHS students take personal finance as a graduation requirement. This is an area that most adults think is critical, and we are one of the few New Hampshire high schools to ensure that every student graduates with this basic background in understanding budgeting, credit, loans, and managing of finances. Our goal is to help students start on the road to independent living with the toolkit they need for success. If you have more questions about anything you've seen or anything I've talked about, please reach out to me through email. My email address can be found on the BHS website.
Do you have a story idea or a nonprofit organization that you would like to be featured on the show? Then drop us a line at bctv@bedfordnh.org. For all of us at BCTV, we want to wish you a great week. I'm George Cox for Bedford Community Corner. We'll see you again next time.